What's up, flows? Don't you knows I love all you. What's going on, guys? Yo, it's overtflow. How are you guys doing today? This is a commentary that I'm going to do for you guys, talking about a big man crushing a smaller man, and it's gonna be pretty interesting. So sit back, relax, chill out. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting down, kicking back, and I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit today. So, first things first. It's going to be a Battlefield 3 gameplay because that is what I'm using. That's just what I'm using for the gameplay, alright? Do you have a problem with it? I didn't think so. So, leave a like if you enjoy Battlefield, or wait for the story, then leave a like afterwards if you enjoyed my story. So, if you guys didn't know, I actually train in the exquisite art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And for those of you who don't know what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is, it's a martial art that comes from Judo and Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilians took it and they crafted it into a pretty cool little thing. Basically, if you watch UFC, all that stuff that they do on the ground is mostly jiu-jitsu, a little bit of wrestling here and there, but it's, I'd say 95% jiu-jitsu if you watch UFC. If not, then jiu-jitsu is basically like wrestling with submissions, like arm locks and, you know, leg locks, ankle locks, choke holds, stuff like that. And so I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for about 6 years now, on and off. I've been out because of injuries. I started when I was in high school, so I didn't take it too serious back then. But basically, I've been training about 6 years on and off. If you're curious about my belt rank, I'm a high degree blue belt, hopefully getting my purple belt soon. But anyways, so I've been training for this long, and last night, I trained jiu-jitsu, and I was gonna make this commentary last night, but I actually ended up crashing out super duper hard because I guess rolling at 150% with a 320 pound 6'5" man, it takes a lot of energy out of you. So here's what ended up happening, you guys, and I just thought that this story was pretty cool. You know, because you guys say I don't talk about my real life enough, so here's a real life story for you. Anyway, so I went to jiu-jitsu last night. Everything went swimmingly, blah, 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 blah. And then we got to the part where we were rolling with people, all right? So first guy I roll with is like probably 230 pounds. I myself am about 5'11". I weigh about 200 pounds. First guy I roll with is about 230 pounds. He goes to his back, you know, so I'm on the offense. And he ends up sweeping me. Gets to side control. I'm going to use some jiu-jitsu related terms. I don't know how else to break them down to you guys. I'll try my best. But anyway, he gets to side control. And basically he's got me in, I guess wrestlers would call it kind of like a cradle position almost. And he's a purple belt. So anyways, I think he's almost a brown belt. But anyways, so he gets to that position where he's basically at my side. So I'm flat on my back and he's on his knees at my side, holding me down. And I happen to catch, he goes to knee on belly, he puts his knee in my stomach, and I catch one of his arms, sweep him a little bit just to the point where he's back into side control, and I have one of his arms caught with my leg, so my shin bone is in the crease of his elbow basically. So I catch his arm, pull him close, and I end up bicep crushing him, which is pretty good, and it was a solid attack. So he taps out to that, and you know, told me good job. He's one of my good friends there at jiu-jitsu. Tells me good job, goes about his way. Next guy comes up, he's a 450 pound black belt. And this guy's a beast. Very nice guy though, but 450 pounds, he's a monster. And at one point his stomach sucked on my hand and it was incredibly scary. And not to be mean or anything, but holy crap, I didn't even know that could actually happen. Like, I put my hand up and it like went into his stomach. It was the craziest thing. And this guy's a monster. He ended up choking me out and I thought my head was gonna pop off. And but of course he's a black belt, so obviously that was gonna happen. And even if he wasn't a black belt, he probably still would do that because he has over, you know, he's like 2.5 of me. Then after that, I went back into the line, waiting for my next turn to go roll with somebody. So my professor Mika, he says, "Okay, you're gonna go with this guy Joe over here next." I see Joe, and he just tapped out a high degree blue belt, and he is. Let me tell you this guy. Okay, this guy, I saw him when I first walked into class and I saw him. I had never seen him before. And I was like, I want to roll with that guy. But then again, I'm not really sure because he does look very big. Anyways, I go up to him and, you know, he's very nice. He's probably about 35 years old. He's 320 pounds. For those of you who measure in stones, I don't know how much a stone is. So I'm going to say that it's like, I don't know, 27 stones. And for those of you who measure in kilograms, I don't know how much it is in kilograms, but I'm going to say it's 150. Is kilograms less than a pound? Or more than a pound? 150 or 450? I don't know. Whatever. Look it up. It's pounds. Lots of pounds. And so anyways, I go up to him. And my gosh, this guy is a white belt, okay? I ask him how long he's been training. He says 3 months. So he's been training 3 months. To my 6 years on and off of training. I go with him. I try to start out standing. Okay? Doesn't work because he just kind of forces me onto my back. And all of this, if you don't know jiu-jitsu or if you have an immature mind like me, all of it's going to sound very sexual, which it wasn't by any means. It's just, it's straight up, it's training. If anybody says that it's, I've heard people be like, oh, that's gay that you would wrestle with men. Listen, man, I will gay you out then. I will gay you into oblivion with my super gayness and my aggressive hugging, okay? But anyways, so what ended up happening was I fell onto my back. He came top. I tried to, get in my guard, but I couldn't wrap my legs around him because he was too big. He's, 320 pounds, too big. I couldn't even wrap my legs around him, so I did an open guard type thing with my one knee across his belly and my other foot on his hip, and I held his arm with one hand, blah, 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 blah. He ends up switching over to side control and just, and this was a 10-minute roll, you guys. I'm just trying to tell you. It wasn't too interesting, I guess you could say, but it was a 10-minute roll about, and he ends up coming to side control, and I kind of, I stick a foot underneath his leg, if you can picture that. So I'm on my back. I happen to get one of my feet and kind of hook it on the inside of one of his legs, and I spin underneath him and try to come out like the back. And I do that for a second. Then he starts to kind of stack me, and it's crazy. I couldn't breathe at all. There was no breath happening from my lungs. It wasn't in the cards, you guys. I ended up like getting to the point where I was almost hyperventilating, and I just because I couldn't breathe because I was being squished so much. And so I ended up rotating out. Finally I got out, and when I go to stand up, he grabs my leg, throws me down again, comes top and gets me in almost like a headlock position. So I'm on my back again. He has me almost in a headlock type position with one of my arms too. So that position is very frustrating. It's very easily holdable, I guess. If you guys watched the Ronda Rousey fight that was on UFC not too long ago, like 2 weeks ago or whatever, then 2-3 weeks ago, then that position, Ronda Rousey actually used that position. It's called a scarf hold. Basically you have one of their arms and you have their head, and they're in a headlock on their back, basically. So it's pretty tough to get out of. And anyway, so I was stuck there, and the way that position works is there's a lot of pressure on your chest. And once again, I could not breathe at all. There was no breath escaping from my lungs or coming into my lungs. So I was stuck there, and I ended up mustering my strength. And normally I try not to make like any grunts or anything when I'm doing jiu-jitsu. You know how sometimes you'd be working out and you'd be like, huh, huh, like that? Sometimes you'd be doing that stuff, and I try not to do any of that stuff in jiu-jitsu. Even when I try not to use my strength ever, because I want to learn technique. But anyways, I try not to make any grunty type noises, because whenever I hear somebody else do that, I'm always like, oh god, this guy's trying so hard. Why is he trying so hard? We're just rolling. But when I was rolling with this big guy and I went to escape, I swear that I like mini screamed. I was like, ah, like trying to get out from underneath him. I ended up escaping, climbing onto his back, and attempting to choke him. But once I got out, I was like, good God, thank you, Jesus, for helping me to escape that position, because I felt like I was it literally felt like a life or death position. Like, I didn't know, honestly, if I was going to pass out or not, just from the fact that I could barely breathe underneath him. And I honestly wasn't sure about that. So anyways, I escaped from underneath him, climb onto his back, and he is so big that there's no way that I'm going to be even able to control him on his back, because if he falls backwards, he's going to end up putting me in another position where I'm very squished. And even if I fall to my side like you're supposed to in that position, I don't even know how I would control him, because he's just a massive man. He's a big bear of a guy. And so he's kind of like a Yeti, I guess, a Bigfoot. I don't know. But anyways, so I switch from the back, go to the top position, and this is probably 6 minutes into the roll. 6 minutes of me getting absolutely crushed underneath him. So I had no energy. I had noodle arms going on. And at one point he told me, he's like, he had noodle arms. And so I was like, thank God. Thank you for saying that to me, because now I know that, because I'm a decently strong guy, I'm like, now I know that I can use a little bit of strength and I might be able to outstrength him because his arms are straight noodles, even though mine were as well. But I figured I'm in better shape because I'm not 320 pounds, so I'm going to go for it. And anyway, I climbed to the front of him. And, you know, I throw him down onto his back. He's on his back. I climb top, and I press my shoulder into his face. I cradle his head, press my shoulder into his face so that he can't, because basically, if your head is facing one way, it's very hard for you to get your body to turn the other way. And so, I have him in that position, and, hold him there, but he is so strong, and he's, like, bucking like crazy, trying to get up, and, so I go for, like, a choke. His neck is so big, I literally cannot get a choke in. His like neck was covering his lapel, his gi. I couldn't grab the gi and use the gi for a choke. I couldn't wrap my arms around his neck for a choke from that position either. And he's bucking so hard that like I don't even know what to do. Because I know that sooner or later he's gonna end up overpowering me. So I end up switching, putting my shin. I kind of fold it underneath myself. I fold my leg underneath myself and place my shin in the crease of his elbow, just so that it causes a little bit of pain and it's better pressure for him, because in order for him to get me off of him at that point, he's gonna have to bench press me, which I don't see happening at any time because my control was too great from that position. And he ends up trying to push me off of him, and I go for a wrist lock, and I press that wrist down so hard that I think that it's to the point where it's right about to snap, and then I stop at that point just because I don't want to hurt the guy, obviously. And I put it to a point where there should have been a lot of pressure, even for a big guy like that. And he ends up, I end up letting off on some of the pressure just because I don't want to actually hurt him. And he ends up getting his wrist out, and I kind of wish that I would have gone a little bit harder until he would have you know, said out. Cause sometimes I am too nice in jiu-jitsu when I go for taps. I try never to crank anything or put in a choke way too hard. I try to always ease on stuff, and sometimes I've noticed that does not give me an advantage at all. It puts me at a disadvantage because people think, oh wow, I escaped that, you know, and now I'm gonna beat this guy up for putting me in that position. Like, oh geez, man, why can't you just acknowledge the fact that I got you, son? But anyways, got his wrist. He ends up getting out of it, and his wrist has to be a little bit sore today because I put pressure on that thing. Anyways, he gets out of that. I end up controlling him, kind of switching around. He ends up pushing me off for a second, but I ended up, you know, getting up, getting back on top, and just holding him down a little bit longer, trying for arm bars, trying for a Kimura at one point. But it was so crazy. I was so unstable on top of him because it was just very difficult to be, you know, to base myself out on top of a guy that big, because sometimes like I would go for a submission, but my legs would not even be touching the ground because his belly was too big, and so I had no base, and he could have easily pushed me over. And anyways, my instructor ended up saying, you know, telling that guy to rest after about 10, 15, probably, honestly, it was probably about a 12-minute roll if I had to guess, between 10 and 15, and my instructor ended up telling that guy to rest because he had been out there for such a long time, and the guy was kind of breathing heavy at this point and stuff, obviously. And I was like, thank you, Lord, for it. Thank you, Mika, for telling this guy to rest. It was absolutely insane. I thought that I was not going to be able to roll because that was fairly on. It was probably in the first half an hour of rolling. The first hour and a half of class, the first half an hour of rolling. I did not think that I was like, you know what, I'm probably not even be able to roll anymore after this because I'm so incredibly tired and exhausted. I got noodle arms going on. I can't feel my legs. I can't breathe. My back hurts. And anyways, I ended up rolling with a few more people and finishing out the day and all that. But it's just crazy to think, and for anybody who made it this long, this has been an extremely long video, and that's fine. I just felt like talking to you guys. For anybody who made it this long, be sure to leave a like, because if you stay this long, clearly it's a half-decent video. But anyways, so that got me to thinking, like, okay, that guy is absolutely humongous, and I couldn't tap him. I was the only one who really was coming close to any submissions, but I couldn't really tap him, and he was controlling me pretty good. And given the fact that this guy was a huge guy, it's understandable, but at the same time, he's only been training for about 3 months. And just to think, you know, at first I was kind of hard on myself, like, man, why didn't I tap that guy? You know, I should have been able to tap him, no matter how big he is. I should have been able to do it. And then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, imagine if I didn't do jujitsu. In the street, that guy would have killed me. Literally, if he would have, there would have been a problem between like me and him or whatever. Or I don't have problems with anybody. If he would have had a problem with me and there was a guy that big and he would have, you know, attacked me like that, I would have literally been dead because he would have just laid on me like he did until I couldn't breathe and just beat the heck out of me. That's what would happen. And so I got to thinking about it, and after all this time in jiu-jitsu, I can say with confidence that I can somewhat defend myself against guys that huge. At least if I was in that position, I know that I could escape it and run away, or I don't know, get my truck and I don't know. I don't even think hitting somebody with a truck that big would. I think it would hurt my truck more than him. But it got me to thinking, like, that's a pretty cool thing. Even though I couldn't tap him, I could defend myself against a guy twice my size, twice my weight, pretty much. And I think that that's amazing. I think that that's a very cool thing. And it just is crazy. It puts you, jiu-jitsu puts you in like life or death situations. It makes you face reality on a daily basis. It makes you really humble, I think. And I really do enjoy it. And I just felt like sharing a jiu-jitsu story with you guys. Man crushed by 300-pound man. It was intense, dude. And I'm still alive to tell the story. I'm super sore today. I feel like I got beat up. I came home, crashed out, woke up, and I could like barely move. And on top of that, I like shifted in the middle of the night and lifted my leg up super high to kick off a blanket. And when I brought my leg down, it hit the wooden edge of my bed. And my heel hurt so bad I can barely walk on it. So on top of the fact that I feel like I got beat up, I have a dead heel today. Pretty crazy. But anyway, I just want to tell you guys that story. I hope that you guys enjoy it. I'm wondering if I should cut this up into 2 parts. It is a very long story. But who knows? Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Nah, I won't. Maybe I will. Who knows? You'll see later on today. Anyways, I love you guys very much. You guys are absolutely awesome. Let's see if we can get this video up to around 90 or 100 likes. I know that it's a very long video and it's Battlefield gameplay, so I'm not sure. But if you guys can push it up to 100 likes, it would mean a lot to me. And that's all for the video, you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed the commentary. Tell me what you think of jiu-jitsu stories like that. And that's all. I love you guys very much, and I am over and out.